So we have reached we have gone as far in the text as the words no form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and finally, no phenomenon. With these last two words, no phenomenon, this points to how all phenomena of samsara and nirvana are without any inherent existence. None of them is real and true. Now, with regard to the general meaning of this profound text, there are many ways that it can be understood. It can be understood correctly or incorrectly, and among the incorrect ways of understanding, there are principally three. There is an incomplete understanding, a perverted understanding, and not understanding at all. Among these three, I would say my understanding is incomplete. And so in the future, I would really encourage you to request detailed instruction on the word-for-word meaning of this sutra from Khenpo Dende and others who have engaged the study for a long period of time and have given rise to a complete understanding of the meaning. So it is truly my hope that you will request detailed instruction from him in the future. The text continues, there is no I constituent, no mental constituent, up to and including no mental consciousness constituent. In brief, when we refer to the I constituent, we are talking about all of those outer objects which are grasped at by the mind. This includes the vast outer container that is this universe and the inner contents which are sentient beings. These phenomena are without any inherent existence. They are composites. If we look at any material phenomenon, it is merely comprised of particles. Then, as the text refers to the mental consciousness constituent, here we are speaking about the inner grasping mind. And so it is through the interaction of the grasping mind and grasped at objects that all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana appear. Yet, at its very basis, the mind itself is vast and empty like the sky. So if one were to elaborate all of the details about the 5 aggregates and the various elements, really there is much to be said about these 18 elements or constituents. But in brief, they all come down to the interaction of the grasping mind and grasped at objects. The text continues, there is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Now, for those who do not recognize the basic nature of mind, this non-recognition is referred to as ignorance. So in this regard, Lord Milarepa said that when it is recognized, it is self-aware, primordial awareness. When it is not recognized, it is known as ignorance. This is to say, the actual nature of the mind is merely awareness. This natural state, when it is not recognized, the cause of that is simply not knowing how to look at the mind with the mind. When it is not recognized, then all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana manifest. Yet when the nature of mind is recognized, then there is within this awareness no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no aging and death, and so forth. This mind then is beyond birth, aging, illness, and death. It is beyond the 12 links of interdependent origination. It recognizes all of these phenomena to be illusory.
말해봐 지바고 아까 남시지 세계라디니 취지 자지바 남시지 제대로 시합 되게 근데 세번 내려다 또 뭐지 샤워 유무 거다 나빠도 받대라 맞대 신기 시바라는 거 저도 깨달은 거 같은데 신기 시바라는 거로 때나 되게 나갔다고 잘해 보여 대비기 신기 시바라는 거라 우리는 말을 가까이 오면 신기 시바고 뭐 맛이 바라고 땀 맛이 바라고 이렇게 빠졌는 게 지금 손들 그걸 말을 또 갖다 와서 줘버려 대로 docking is a kind of art. The sucking is all nothing. You get the top I ever go. Can take my mother. Donna, some kind of they looked at it. Do the top I shape it on top of it. Isn't it a marathon? Yes.
With regard to these words, there is no ignorance. When we look at the ordinary consciousness that is present right now, there is a distinction that is made between the doer of various actions and the outer objects that appear. Yet, when one cultivates awareness of the actual natural state of the mind, there is a clear knowing aspect of the mind that manifests. When we look at the mind, when we, turn the mind inward and look at the mind with the mind, this clear, cognizant, knowing aspect becomes vast, like the expanse of space. And from within this view, there is no separate phenomenon of ignorance. The only difference is between recognition or non-recognition of the natural state of the mind. Ignorance is temporary non-recognition. In the Dzogchen teachings, this natural state of the mind is referred to as primordial purity. In the Mahamudra teachings, it is said to be pure at the very basis. And although we can use many different words to refer to this natural state, in brief, it is simply the natural mode of abiding of the mind which has been pure from the very beginning. This mind is free of ignorance. The text continues, similarly, there are no sufferings, no origins, no cessations, no paths. In this regard, although the nature of mind is empty, we give rise to self-grasping, and on the basis of this self-grasping, we take a physical form and manifest in a body, and on the basis of this body, we experience many sufferings. This is the very nature of suffering. Yet, the natural state of the mind is empty at the very basis. It is only through temporary arising of thoughts and emotions that all of samsara manifests. So the nature of the mind itself is empty. The nature of thoughts as well is empty. Thus, neither the mind nor thoughts have any inherently established basis. Thus, when we recognize the natural state of the mind, although there are said to be 84,000 different types of negative emotions, they can all be condensed into thoughts. When we recognize thoughts through the power of awareness, we see their empty nature. We see that they are without inherent existence. Thoughts are like the waves that arise on the surface of the water. They appear from the water and dissolve back into the water. And so it is with thoughts that arise in the mind. When this is recognized, then, the mind abides in a state free of suffering. It is only through grasping at thoughts that suffering arises. So when there is no grasping at thought, there is no suffering. When there is no suffering, then there is no origin of suffering. If there's no origin of suffering, then there's no need for the cessation of suffering. And likewise, if there is no cessation of suffering, there is no need for a path. This is the meaning of these words.
Indeed, that me, culture, any Gaza, let them what some people. Tambu, you give a land, you supply, you are the people. I made a young of you take all your thing is up. So, rapidly, you meet you for something. Half over. There is a little thing, I mean, a couple of you. You would make you for something. Now, what could have been so I made that Malay consume? All the Malay, Marek Pass, then Mopuli get on so long. All the Mato, which about the Nipan. All the data what Timber Town Matapare. Mato, double because so many. Now, to Maze, but the lay of it, so I was some lay, early, you move by your podcast. You get out the door over your day. After all the theatre of Tungo potato, which of the Baneva, Penatata Cornish by me. Don't you get away, you move by it. You were a guitar. You know, you move around, you sit down, ask. Don't have the church jump on the Kajuga. Nerotomo Kaza, you know what they hit. I am the buyer from Mare, from Kimba. Taking one something, all the data, Mato, so on. You get up there. Couple of so many. Double it.
So in this text we find the words ne in Tibetan, meaning there is no. Of course, for beginners, we are often taught of what there is. There is the incontrovertible nature of karma, cause and effect. There are actions and their results. There are positive and negative deeds. There are gods and demons, and so forth. And these are taught to beings who have not realized the ultimate nature of their mind. Yet, when this realization dawns, then one sees that even that which one has been taught to exist, in fact, does not exist. This brings us to the words of Milarepa, which I mentioned earlier. When it is realized, it is self-aware primordial awareness. When it is not realized, it is ignorance. First we are taught that when we give rise to negative emotions and grasp at them on the basis of this, karma is accumulated and suffering is experienced. This accords with the words of Lord Gampopa, who said, until thoughts and emotions are exhausted, karma is accumulated. And on the conventional level, this is true. Yet, for someone who realizes the natural state of the mind, thoughts and emotions do no harm at all. In fact, they only bring benefit for that person's meditation and realization. Someone who has this realization recognizes that all phenomena are without inherent existence. However, until such realization arises, we must pay close attention to the workings of karma, cause and effect, in accord with the words of Lord Gampopa.
니선 보고도 좋지나 따따로서 이시지바데 따로서다가 전부 내로 통화서 이시지들 문제인거래 옛날에 속다 상기 대 옛날에 이시 내밖에 가는 용거를 했잖아 전부 내로 대다 요사도 잡아대 요리 정게 이 가다대 상계사를 배워 말, 상계 토포요 말, 그래 세도 장마 차요 말, 소소는 전바디, 너바 탑대다 잘하더니 상계 토파 차고 그래, 빼나 장소 친구들이 이니 초토파티 야라나, 초대 딱 나장 차라더니 장소 초대 토파 차고요 그래, 장소 미도 도로 말이 상계게 사실 어디 밀도 오고만 처랑도 담아만 자고 처도 따도 하러와 어디 처도 봐. 정말 도마다지 봐. 산지 좀비 되게 도마 대살 산지 우서 산지 그 잠시나니 잡도 집어는 처도 봐지 알아는 처도 봐대 처도 봐 담아 장 자주 잡지 되지 봐라. yapıcı para o çok esa to bana toma yoboji esa toma ta chayo marwa o de yamta cha면 당 yapıcı para chayo marwa 내가 생 코랑 산지 인장 산지 생 코랑 산지 인장 토다 산지에도 담은 요 이시 요상 접하는 용인데 소생도 담아 줘요 말아 소소 띵을 받고 동구배 때문이야. 요 말 이시라 적당 제 말하고 한데 내가야 이시도. 막히지. 얘가 저 소소는 저 받이 다고 이선들이 요상은 저 받이 다고 그러나. 별로 보면 다와 쏘나요. 다도 니니 송도 좋지. 니니 송도 좋. 정보를 때나 니니 손대 줬대나 야, 다 생대로 고작 준비해서 봐 내가 해서 돈도 동반이 해서 니가 고아서 차면 다음 생은 봐요 그래. 생대로 무무 등는 저야나 니가 너 박사님 말고 돈은 먹어도 정말 맞아 봐. 봐. 너 박사님 말. 세금도 내려오라. 싫어버리니 너한테 했으나 그니 요 말을 봐. 현 다도 보니 싫어네.
The text continues. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. So with regard to these words, there is no exalted wisdom, or translated another way, no primordial awareness. In brief, when we see the natural state of the mind, we give rise to primordial awareness, and this mind is the mind of all of the Buddhas. So what does it mean when we say there is no primordial awareness? When we look at the natural state of the mind, if we think that this natural state is primordial awareness and primordial awareness is existent, then we give rise to a mind of fixation. An individual who has this type of grasping will not reach the state of Buddhahood until that grasping is purified. That grasping is a sign that the mind of that individual has not yet been purified. That which is known as Buddha is completely free of all grasping and fixation. This mind of the Buddhas is like a vast ocean, and if we collect a single drop from that vast ocean, that drop is of the same nature as the ocean itself. However, if that drop has even the slightest bit of contamination, then it is different from that ocean. And so it is with the minds of sentient beings. At the very basis, they are of the same essence as the minds of all of the Buddhas. Yet, as long as there is contamination or obscuration in the mind, the qualities of the Buddhas are not made manifest. The Buddha's realization does not come forth. And so as long as there is grasping and fixation in the mind, then the obscurations of the mind have not yet been cleared away. If we have this notion that in order to attain Buddhahood, I must cultivate great transcendent awareness, then that itself is a concept which taints the mind. In the context of the Madhyamaka teachings, the ultimate view is the union of the two truths, conventional and ultimate. That is to say, on the conventional level, there are the teachings on karma, cause and effect. On the ultimate level, there are the teachings on emptiness. And both of these are of the same essence. If we have a conceptual understanding of the union of the two truths, this understanding is still nothing more than grasping in the mind. If, on the other hand, we abide in the natural state of the mind, it is possible through the power of transcendent awareness to recognize from an experiential perspective the actual union of conventional and ultimate truth. So in brief, as long as there is grasping in the mind, then the mind is obscured. The ultimate nature is not realized. However, when the ultimate nature is realized, then from that experience one can say there is no primordial awareness, or as this translation says, there is no exalted wisdom.
토바야메 마토바야메 도스 토바야메 강 토발사로 죽고 지금 직장이요 말 토발사메 생각 다들 토종 기와래요 말이 얘는 돈이게 돈이 있어 라고 세면 이봐 이거까지 그리고 호텔에 규탐지 지금 남기 시합 토고래 마토바야메 호텔에 규탐지가 와서 내려 호텔에 규탐지가 와서 내려 대통령 호텔 탐지가 싸와 다 탐지점을 이시에 있는 거고요. 마토가 찍다는 거 말이지. 토바야 게 토바도 뭐 심을 그 연자 토도 싸와 이거 말라. 마토바야 게지. 산지가 남기 지금 탐지 세부 내려오는 거가 내려오는 거가.
So the text reads, there is no attainment and also no non-attainment. With regard to no attainment, then when one truly recognizes the natural state of the mind, there is no thought that I have gotten this realization or I have achieved this attainment. There is no such concept in the mind at all. Likewise, all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana, though they have arisen from the mind, it is the basic mind that recognizes the origin of samsara and nirvana, and this is the mind of the Buddha's omniscient wisdom. Now, the root of all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana is nothing other than mind, yet when we see the natural state of the mind, it is on the basis of this recognition that all of the qualities of the Buddha's three kayas are made manifest. So in this way, it can also not be said that there is no non-attainment, since all of the Buddha's qualities are manifest from awareness. So when one abides in the natural state of the mind, it is, as the text says, therefore, Shariputra, because bodhisattvas have no attainment, they depend on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Because their minds are without obstructions, they are without fear. So when we abide in the view, then there is no karmic propensity to obscure the nature of mind. So the meaning of these words is indeed profound, and I myself have only an approximate understanding thereof, so I must apologize to you, Dharma friends. The text reads, because their minds are without obstructions, they are without fear. And just as a translator's comment, I would probably prefer to say, because their minds are without obscuration, they are without fear. So to someone who has realized the nature of the mind, all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana appear like illusions. Thus, there is no grasping at phenomena as real or true. When one is free of such grasping at phenomena, then, then negative emotions, unchecked negative emotions, do not arise in the mind. Thus, when there is no unchecked negative emotion arising in the mind, there is no obscuration of the mind. Yes, so the text reads, because their minds are without obscuration, they are without fear. So in brief, when we engage meditation practice in accord with these words of the Heart Sutta, the result will be that all of our experiences of happiness and suffering and of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana and of self and other will be recognized as they truly are. Of course, we will perceive appearances and we will engage activities until this body is left behind. Yet, even so, we will simultaneously perceive their ultimate empty nature. When in this way the mind is free of obscuration, one gives rise to a samadhi, a courageous kind of samadhi. That is to say, when the mind is free of obscuration, there is no fear. There is no fear of suffering. And the natural state of the mind abides in its own place. It is unshaken by phenomena and by experience. When this is realized, then one truly understands phenomena to be, and one's mind to be free of birth and cessation. This is what is meant by the Vajra-like samadhi. By habituating and stabilizing this awareness, one's mind is totally without obscuration and thus without fear.
내말해야 싸고요 말이에요. 말이야 싸고요 말이에요. 성급의 내로가 시설화 되는 진짜라 진짜로 오셨는데 내서 내가 남 놀아야 말이에요.
The text continues, having completely passed beyond all error, they go to the completion of nirvana. What is meant by these words? What is meant by error? It is grasping and fixation on phenomena as real. This grasping leads to the accumulation of karma and negative emotions. Yet, when this delusion is destroyed, then there is no longer any fixation on truth or untruth, or the existence or non-existence of things. In this regard, Sakyapa said, when one gives rise to grasping, then there is no realization. So in brief, passing beyond all error refers to having completely abandoned grasping and fixation in the mind, and by doing so, one follows an unmistaken path.
냥민에 대한 탈선도 신주로 현대는 냥민에 대한 탈선도 냥민에 대한 탈선도 아니라 지발은 철와 아스 우고도 지만지도 봐 내가 시와는 많이 봐 시와는 많이 해도 사제 통도 로요 사제랑 랑상이 되네 라 사제 통도 로요 말이 그때 통도를 로요 말이 서파를 맞춰 시와는 많이 해서 사대냐데 사대에서.
Yeah, so the text reads, having completely passed beyond all error, they go to the completion of nirvana. Now, with regard to these words, the completion of nirvana, it means that one is not deceived by the phenomena of existence. That is to say, one has no grasping at phenomena as real and true. Likewise, it means that one does not abide in a state of peace. Nor does one have any wish to attain the state of the nirvana of the Pratyeka Buddhas.
이렇게 뒤숨도 무거워 있고 사제 탈때 있다. 시랍에 바로서 만들어 되네. 야가만 바로도 상기해서 내일 남바 사제를 때마다 친구들이 내가 사제 남이야. 내서 람디리쇼 마음 사제 남이야. 내서 나도 사제 남이야. 내서 내가 따라와요 말이야. 그 강이 내 말이게 동네 때려지네. 내 말이게 방법 கொஞ்சம் 준비해서 내 반대 또 내 양서 나네. 나니 해. 그것도 사주서 이렇게 예를 들면 돈다고 사주서 뭐가 떨어지지? 난 내일이요 말이야. 진짜 내 반이 돈지 남자 손들고 시작은 못해 돈담을 내가 줘서 손들고 저책 걸지나 진짜로 먼저 싸워는 내가 먼저 싸워는 내가 돼.
It continues, all the Buddhas who abide in the three times have been fully awakened into unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment through relying on the perfection of wisdom. So this is to say that among all of the Buddha's teachings, this is an extremely special pith instruction, significant point, and that is that all of the Buddhas who have appeared in the past have relied on the perfection of transcendent awareness, and through practicing in this way have achieved the result of Buddhahood. And so it is with all of the Buddhas that will come in the future, and all of the Buddhas who abide in the present. In this regard, these teachings on the perfection of wisdom are changeless in the three times. The essence of the Buddha's teachings can be condensed into the two truths, conventional and ultimate. On the conventional level, first one must understand the incontrovertible karma, cause and effect, and then engage in practice thereof. In this way, self-grasping is destroyed, and one gives rise to conventional bodhicitta in one's mind stream. On the basis of practicing in accord with conventional truth, the ultimate truth, that is the nature of mind, is realized. Apart from these two truths, there is no other path of Buddhist practice. When we look at the teachings of the Heart Sutra, then they are really the teachings that elaborate the ultimate truth, which is beyond transition or change.
대답에나 지랄게 바로도 좀 하소. 지랄게 바로도 좀 하. 안디 공nap에서나디 랑나 당자니 손에 저렇게 랑나 토람 요람 봄람 뭐라고 랑나 되고래. 손저 끼고 살아요. 이게 아니니 사하리 않네. 정도디 감지와 남들과 대화 담들과 뭐마지 아니 람마다 한국 냐서님 봐 탐지디 람마는 로로라 초람 요람 봄람 뭐라고 람서 이디야 감 같은 같이 para sampai bodhisattva aso 이 람마다 교수 속기가
The text continues, therefore the mantra of the perfection of wisdom is the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering. Because it is not false, it should be known to be true. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is stated, Tadyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvaha. Now, these syllables of the mantra are said to be related to the 5 paths that practitioners must traverse. These paths are the following. The path of seeing, the path of meditation or habituation, the path of application, and the final one is the path of no further return. It seems I'm missing one in my list. Tonglam, Gombelam, Jorelam, Lilo, Dini, Jimbaji, Tonglam, Gombelam, Tolam, Nasa.
소주람들은 뭐 소소 다 대답을 그거 준비해서 합니다. 소소가 나오라. 소소나 되는 소람지. 근데 요람들 무슨 되는 사람도 40%로 되게 차이가 벌어. 나는 차이가 벌어. 너무 깊게 나와요. 제가 좀 기본으로 좀 빼야고.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm not hearing. I have the path of accumulation, the path of meditation or habituation, the path of application, and the path of no reversal or no return. And for some reason, I'm missing one. In any case, these paths are supposedly related to the syllables of the mantra, Tadyata, and so forth.
이 대화 중에는 굳이 봐서 소문을 이는 이 나는 계속 나는 요즘 꽤 많고 있고 갖고 요래 다다지 솔직히 남나는 계속은 이미 핑고 요래 남나는 계속은 핑고 요래 조치라도 되는지 되는 핑고를 보지 어떻게 들고 와 되게 좀 그래요.
Okay, Gert reminded me of the one that I was forgetting, and this is the path of seeing. So first it is the path of accumulation, second application, third seeing, fourth meditation, and fifth the path of no returning. Now Rinpoche says if someone can give very detailed instruction in these 5 paths and how they are related to the Manda, according to the written commentaries and so forth, it is of extremely great benefit to understand them. And so in the future it would be good if Khenpo can give commentary on these, and of course if he can, this is great because no interpreter is needed.
It is really not appropriate for me to try to teach in front of an enlightened teacher like His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche, but since His Eminence kind of pushed me too much, so I will just say a few words just out of devotion and respect to His Eminence. And this is what I read, it's not my experience. In general, there are 2 kinds of candidates to practice the meaning of the Heart Sutra. One that is gradual, and the other one that is instantaneous, higher capacity. So for the higher capacity, it is not necessary to explain everything in detail, like form is empty, emptiness is form, and so forth. For such a person, the Heart Sutra is presented in the form of a mantra, which is Om Gate Gate Paragate Prasangate Bodhi Soha. Within this mantra, and the entire meaning of the Heart Sutra is included. So from the beginning to the end of the Heart Sutra, what is explained is the realization that the Bodhisattva attains through the path of accumulation up to enlightenment. So in this mantra, the whole 5 paths are mentioned. Tatyatha, which means thus in English probably. So Om Gate refers to the path of accumulation. Then the second Gate refers to the path of preparation or the path of conjunction. Pragate refers to the path of seeing. Prasangate refers to the path of meditation. Bodhisattva refers to the path of no more learning. So, Om Gate Gate, these 2 refers to the path which is at the mundane level, at our level. Okay. So, Pragate refers to the path of seeing. Path of seeing means, at this stage the Bodhisattva realizes emptiness directly, not indirectly, but directly. There's a direct perception of emptiness at this stage. So that's like the border between the mundane level and the ascended level, the Bodhisattva level. Ascended means the Arya level. So that's the path of seeing. And the path of meditation, the path of seeing is the first Bodhisattva Bhumi. And path of meditation includes this second, third, fourth Bodhisattva Bhumis up to the 9th, 10th. And then Bodhisattva refers to the state of enlightenment, which is the ultimate state. So in this way, this small mantra has the entire meaning of the Heart Sutra condensed in the form of a mantra. Thank you.
Chitande Shirabin Bodhi Sahari Sahari Sahara Natural Father and Sahara Tona Driving Eso. They call him Sahari by the German Congress. Kazan Twachik, Yumo, Rapa, Hajan, Rapa, Tanchik, to me. John coming Yumo body enough. To me, this Sahara Tabati is me. Your body Sahara, there is so. 예, 용도 탑하게 되는 거다. 희락된 흥기기 용도로 있어. 지금 아직 동양 희락된 흥기기 송대주 바래서.
Now Rinpoche is looking at a commentary on this text, the Heart Sutra, and in this commentary, it is also stated that the mantra has a great connection with the meaning of secret mantra practice. And what is this meaning? It is that when, for a person of extremely gross and coarse negative emotions, who finds it difficult to subdue such negativities, this mantra unites transcendent awareness and compassion, and through this union of compassion and transcendent awareness, it is possible to subdue coarse and gross negative emotions. This is a race. Kadokawa Kari did not do that, so Raju, no party. No, I had to chill out in the same district. You give the name so the water to chum with Jody. No, Chivaris. They don't talk chibo, you talk chibo was. So we speak of secret mantra, and this term secret should be properly understood. Now these teachings are not held secret because there is some fault in the Dharma. It isn't as though we hide these teachings away or keep them from others because of a hidden fault. Likewise, these teachings are not withheld out of a mind of avarice. Rather, the meaning of the secret is that the teachings of secret mantra are difficult to realize. And because of this difficulty for them to be realized and understood, they are self-secret or naturally secret. And now, with regard to the negative emotions that abide in one's mind stream, even though one has the Buddha nature, still these negative emotions are powerful enough to create all of the phenomena of the 6 realms of existence. When this is understood, then one can see how powerful negative emotions can be. When negative emotions meet with the view that is the perfection of transcendent awareness, they are transformed into primordial awareness. So in the context of the three yanas, or vehicles, there are different methods of practice which are taught for dealing with negative emotions. From the perspective of the individual liberation path, one is taught to abandon negative emotions as they are the cause of suffering. From the perspective of the Bodhisattva vehicle, one is taught to abandon negative emotions towards all sentient beings who have been one's kind parents. And from the perspective of secret mantra, this latter method of transforming negative emotions into primordial awareness is taught. For example, if one gives rise to extremely great anger, through the power of awareness, one can see the very empty nature of that anger itself. Apart from this, no special antidote is necessary. Someone who has experience of the view, when they give rise to anger, the anger itself is dissipated through the power of awareness, and what is left behind is a mind of brilliant clarity. There is no, sleepiness or dullness in this mind. In this way, anger itself manifests as mirror-like primordial awareness. In this way, one can engage the practice of liberating negative emotions in accord with the teachings of secret mantra. Just as a mirror clearly reflects whatever forms or images are placed in front of it, yet the mirror itself is without any grasping or fixation, so too the mind of primordial awareness clearly perceives phenomena, yet is free of grasping and fixation. When anger is liberated in this way, the mind of clarity is left behind. Or the clear mind is what remains. So through the practices of secret mantra, one receives the methods for separating out negative emotions from transcendent awareness, and also for realizing their basic sameness.
예를 들면 저는 다다 네 유모의 이시가 피라 이 유모 동안 이 시간에 그런다고 이제 시작했지 이슬람 오 유모의 이시가 봐 되니 하고 제가 그 고베 무슨 남자 말하는 유모 이시 레드 나가간데 뭐요라 고베 무슨 남자 말하나 유모 이시 레드 많이 요바한데 명바 또 어떻게 요바라 우리 뭐가 남자는 니들 고베고 예, 누가 영탁을 접사들이 아무 이반이나 일대에서 하던 하도로 이마도 몸이 양도 많이 온다. 되니 공부 어떻게 요 말이 대해서 상하래. 니몽랑 이시 받대도가 그래서 하도 하고 그래.
So when negative emotions meet with primordial awareness, then these negative emotions are recognized as the 5 wisdoms. Of course, at the basis, there is only one wisdom which goes by 5 different names. So although it is possible to have a conceptual understanding that negative emotions are primordial awareness, until one is actually able to reach a stage of non-meditation, and until one is able to actually train in and experience the liberation of negative emotions into primordial awareness, this is merely a conceptual understanding. It is merely a label. But when one has direct experience of liberating negative emotions into awareness, then and only then does one truly understand the meaning of secret mantra.
묘모가 도대 대다로 용도를 빠르게 레파치기 마 레스 레파치고 대나 네 뭐서 말을 빨리 저한테 레파치기 묘모가 돼 기술이 되었다 봐 대회는 레파치기 마
So the teaching of all of the victorious ones is entirely complete within the mantra of the perfection of wisdom. Now we are looking at the lines of the text that read, therefore the mantra of the perfection of wisdom is the mantra of great knowledge, and so on and so forth. With regard to these words, the mantra of great knowledge or great awareness, what it means is that all negative emotions can be subdued through great awareness. When we liberate negative emotions that are rooted in ignorance, they are spontaneously transformed into primordial awareness. This then is one of the qualities of this mantra of great knowledge or great awareness.
Lana meka haso, lana meka hadina tata, maso shirabja harbi tawa dila, kosun number meto ena, kosun number to pa yoda, lana yoga is. The important number meto shirabja be lana meka haso.
The text refers to the unsurpassed mantra. Now, when the mantra of the perfection of transcendent awareness is recited free from the 3 spheres, then it is truly unsurpassed. If, however, it is recited with concepts about the one who recites and the mantra that is recited and so forth, it is a surpassable mantra. That is, it would be one that could be bettered by another.
사지 탐지게 마냥 사지 탐지 조직하게 마냥 말이 때는 조건이나 딱히 남아 나서리 로고이나 이 꼴꼴나 맞기 로고도 조건 남아기리 우리가 따로 좀 붙거나 그리 사지를 좀 봐. 강이 받은 다 그시와가 포로 못합니다. 이거를 이제 사실 마냥 봐. 그래서 마냥바 냠바스만 하지 때 당기 냠바 가는 냠부 요리 되는 사지 추적하고 뭐니 자와 당지 이실랑도 찍지 추구고롱 사지 탑지 찍봐요 이 사람 마냥바 냠바스만 하지 무조건 마냥바에 추구이나 이렇게 바로도서 갔다가 그다 보이네 죽어로 탐기 냠바지 사지 탐지 사지 찍고 사지 탐지 참고요는 사지 찍게 톡 주는 게들은 사지 탐지를 잡더라고요. 어쨌다 냠바세가 아
The text continues the mantra equal to the unequaled. With regard to this term, the unequaled, this refers to the form bodies of the Buddha, that is, the Nirmanakaya and Sambhogakaya manifestations. Now, with regard to the Sambhogakaya manifestations, there are limitless peaceful and wrathful deities that are without equal. Likewise, there are countless Nirmanakaya that spontaneously manifest. As these are limitless in number, they are unequaled. Now, with regard to the term equal, this refers to the Dharmakaya of the Buddha. It is said in the scriptures that all of the victorious ones are but one in the expanse of primordial awareness. And within this expanse that is the Dharmakaya of the Buddhas, all phenomena are equal. In a single Buddha, all Buddhas are complete. Likewise, the mind of the Buddhas is all-pervading. So this term unequaled refers to the form bodies, and the term equal refers to the Dharmakaya.
동네 탐지에 갑대 시발시가 아 가능이나 호와 동네겠다가 유모가 나디겠다가 말해봐 이제 말해봐야 되나 시랍에 바로도서 봤다 따와 내렸더니 말해봐 있어도 빠나 동네 탐지겠다가 동네 내도 대화 치고 호조 밑에 대화 로지 잡사 잡고요. 있으면 동네 탐지에 갑대 시발시 아
The text refers to the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering. This refers to then the root of all samsaric suffering, which is negative emotions. These negative emotions arise from self-grasping. Self-grasping manifests from the basis of ignorance. If through the perfection of wisdom one abandons negative emotions and dualistic views, one can experience a great bliss untainted by suffering, a bliss that is beyond transition and change. This is the great bliss of the primordial Buddha Vajra-like.
Zubena Dimbar Shipar Sates Delatine Saji component, 내가 소리가 되어서 자꾸 사지에 사회 용기 탐지에 되니 나발라 해와메 바래 빼면서 단 것도 때문에 탐지에 되니 고조도 잡지 해와메 바래 내가 또 타도 잡래 이제 다른 시라도 바로 서봤다 왔니냐 너부터 탐지에 접속되어 얘는 뭐 뇌뼈는 림발 시발도 림발 기인도 너무 강해져. 그래. 사하도 따와 탐지에 라강에 태송리에서 따와 태송리에서 대나 대놈에서 태송대에 강은 좀 듣지 말이야. 강이 생기 따와 다 죽고 근데 밑바닥에 대발 몰라가지고 아까나 이 용기 담치에 되라 용기 어딨어 그러면은
The text continues, because it is not false, it should be known to be true. So, through engaging Buddhist practice, temporarily we attain rebirth in the three higher states of gods and humans, and ultimately we attain the state of fully enlightened Buddhahood. In this regard, the three jewels are said to be an undeceiving refuge. When we engage meditation according to these teachings on the perfection of wisdom, then it is possible for us to realize both these temporary and ultimate benefits. It is taught that the greatest enemy of secret mantra attainment is doubt. So when we give rise to doubt about whether the teachings are true or not, this is a great obstacle to our practice. Thus, it is essential that we settle the point of the view of the nature of mind. This view is an undeceiving truth, a truth that will never mislead. All of the qualities of the Buddhas arise from this truth, if we are free of doubt in it.
이 도강의 사지의 마탐지 신은 적가와래 가리를 적가와는데 그 가시를 적듯이 동치고 다시 동기 적고요. 동치고 적고요. 이서는 적가와래 적 동치고입니다. 대 마이 빙빙 그래가지고 마다마다 제 남이 마다 제 남이 요리 대상이 적 나와요. 적 하려면 동치 좀 있어. 맨날 까보들이나 소소초다고 갈아대 가서 톱 나와요. 그 까보기는 갈아면이는 가사가 뭐지? 랑초다고 갈아 톱 나와요. 봐. 어떻게 나발을 놓고 있구나. 그니 동도 까보요. 봐. 전 사지를 쏘고 마 동치 새끼가 동 참기가 동을 되나. 근데 적 랑지 동이 새끼가 동 랑지 동 인정도 좋고 그러나. 근데 적 하자 까워야 돼. 적을 동 하자 집어야 되나. 뒤쳐봐요. 그래서
It is said that this mantra, which is the essence of the Buddha's teachings, is truly difficult to accomplish. Yet, if one accomplishes it, it is truly meaningful, because through this accomplishment, the two purposes of oneself and others are simultaneously achieved. And so, although there are numerous mantras that can be practiced, this one is said to be difficult yet extremely meaningful. If one is a beggar begging for food, then one obtains whatever food is easiest to get. Yet, if one wishes to bring about the benefit of the beings of this entire worldly realm, of course, it will not be easy to accomplish that. Yet, when that accomplishment is attained, it is exceedingly meaningful. This mantra and this accomplishment should be understood in this way. Due to limited time, and also because the words of the text are rather clear from here on, it's not necessary to give great commentary on the meaning. After the mantra is presented, the text reads as follows. Shariputra, Bodhisattva Mahasattvas should train in the profound perfection of wisdom in this way. Then the transcendent victor rose from that samadhi and said to the Buddha, to the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokiteshvara, well done, child of good lineage. It is just so. Child of good lineage, it is like that. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught it. Even the Tathagatas admire this, and so forth. So, having arisen from his meditation, the Buddha rejoiced in the words of Avalokiteshvara and praised his speech. So today I have offered this instruction on the perfection of transcendent wisdom. However, I am not someone who is very knowledgeable at texts. I'm not particularly scholarly. Also, my eyesight isn't so clear, so it's not easy for me to read the words of this text. And there are many things about this text that I do not know and that I'm not familiar with. Because of all of this, I must apologize to you and confess my faults to you. And then with this, we can close for the evening. And I'd like to offer my many thanks to Khenpo Rinpoche for offering his commentary on the mantra.